out of respect, and we had a question if we could get like one of the recruits on the show.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, I just think that out of respect for the program and the guys that we played under and played with, we don't want to bring anybody on the show that's still currently – obviously we're associated with the program, right? But, like, our tie has been cut. We no longer are –
We don't speak for the team. We don't do anything.
Right, you know, and, like, anyone who's still got time left, like, we don't want to tarnish, like, their reputation or possibly get them in a situation where, like, as you guys have seen – people get on the show. Even Nate Stanley gets on the show. Nate said ass or shit one or two times when he came on the podcast. People open up when they're with guys they know or guys that they're similar with, and they kind of start to talk about stuff that is the good old times in their life. And we don't want Keith Duncan coming on here. Not that he would, but just for the far out chance that he comes on here, he's still got a year left in the program. Like, things he does in his personal life still matter to the coaches, all this stuff. And then he says something, we would obviously cut it, but he says something or does something that, the coaches don't like, and we don't want that. Now, as far as getting coaches on, at some point, I would love to get some of the strength coaches on. I would love to be able to sit down with Coach Doyle and have like a serious episode.
That would be pretty sick. I don't know if you'd ever agree, but that would be sick.
Getting KF on the episode is just I mean,
it's improbable, man. If it ever happens, it happens, but it's improbable.
It's just the longest of long shots you've ever heard of. I mean, think of anything crazier, and it's probably more likely to happen than getting KF on the show.
I personally refuse to ask him out of pure respect for the man.
Right.
Because this is a shitty podcast.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And so if that's a good answer, that's an elongated answer.
After Coach Ferentz retires, maybe. If we were still a podcast
I'll go
and
after
Coach Ferentz retired, I think it would be fair game. Like, I would just call him on the phone and be like, first of all, Coach, congratulations and thank you and all these things. And would you like to have a convo?
Absolutely.
And trick question, he's not allowed to retire.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Let's see. What's the most alcohol Drake has consumed in one night, and what stupid stuff did he do afterwards?
Here's an amazing story, man. I apologize to my mother in advance. This was a four-part question, by the way. That was just part one. Oh, no.
Keep going.
All right. Continue with the question.
The other stuff doesn't relate. It's just 4 different questions, I guess.
Okay. Let me take a drink of water.
I'm really excited for this. I really am.
It was my true freshman year. And we had just beaten Nebraska, and we were on break. And I went back home after the game to a party in Muscatine. And I was now I was Drake, who was playing for Iowa, blah, blah, blah. So I thought I was tough. And I took down what ended up being the better part of a bottle of Captain Morgan, which to this day is the last time Captain Morgan has touched these lips. And everything was good for whatever the half hour until the alcohol just put me face down. And I ended up, there was a few girls that I knew at the party, and I looked at them and I was like, I need to go home. And so I couldn't even get myself to this girl's truck, first of all. Bless these girls' heart for dealing with me, because, I was a freaking mess now. And we get out of the parking lot or wherever this house party was at, and I have to pull over, or have to have them pull over so I can puke. And then I pass out in the back. We get to my house, right? One of them goes in to get me some water or something, and maybe a towel. And the other one was trying to help me, but I was just on my hands and knees in my front yard. And this is the weird thing about me. I was that messed up, but I don't black out. No matter how drunk I've ever gotten, I remember all the misery. And so
that's tough.
I remember being on my hands and knees, screaming at my lawn, just projectile puking, right? So these girls, I'm slung over them like I just broke my leg on the 35 and I'm about to get on the cart, right? They're like dragging me into my house. And here's my mom, arms folded, just in the doorway. Because I'm 19 years old, just came home from college. And this is the first time this has ever happened.
And two women are dragging you into your own house.
Two girls, no. Two girls that she's known for their whole lives. These girls have known my mom since we were young. My mom, one of the girls' moms was my mom's principal. And I think my mom worked with the other one's mom. So this goes way back now. And Jesus. My mom was so embarrassed. And that night, my mom had to help me get from passed out in the shower to the futon. That was a bad night.
That's tough. The other two parts of that's great. The other two parts of, or three parts of that question was, what are your favorite cheat meals? What are your favorite movies? And if you guys were wrestlers, what would your name be?